Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome or welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Soap Lore. I'm your host, Jet, still viewing and reviewing the soapiest, suchiest primetime storyline of 1982. So whether you're new to this or true to this, sit back and enjoy. Tell the kids it's time to play outside or out of sight. Tell babe no questions, suggestions, or concerns for the next 25 to 35 minutes. Everyone else in earshot, cool, quiet, or kicked out are your only options because, baby, we are watching our stories. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Soap Lore. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Soap Lore. We are picking up where we left off on the West Coast. Not really doing the most. We got decisions to make. Season 4, Episode 11, Abby's Choice, is all about the ties that bind, whether you want them to or not. I had a little bit of a hiccup here. I left the room for a minute. I came back in, and I just wanted to see if a movie was on Hulu or not. So I got out of this app, jumped back in. Tell me why I almost slipped up. So I have the Amazon channels, and Knots Landing is on the Primetime Soap channel right now. Tell me why it was Season 3, Episode 3, Aftermath. Can you believe it? Almost messed my whole thing up. I'm like, wait a minute, what are we talking about? So it's only fitting that we go back to the hospital and decide what Diana's fate is going to be. Go ahead and pour yourself up something bubbly and bright as we jump into Season 4, Episode 11 of Knots Landing, Abby's Choice. Per usual, my dear, we're going to start with the bit players. My favorite of all favorites. Sarcasm, sarcasm, sarcasm. Kenny Ward. Kenny Ward is on cloud 9. Kenny Ward should be a damn shame of himself. Last episode, we watched him fork over his wife's intellectual property to the one person who could do the absolute most damage. Some of you had very similar opinions as me. Like, what the actual F are you thinking, Kenny? He had the nerve to be biting his bottom lip, bobbing his head while CG is singing his wife tunes like he thought everything was going to be Gucci and golden. Apparently, she didn't go home and let him have it the way she let CG have it. His chesticles are fully intact because they weren't on the receiving end of a sepia-colored sea shanty. Matter of fact, he is so delighted, we find him near the top of the episode in his little two-seater on cloud 9. He's driving into the gas station, paying probably 45 cents or something ridiculous per gallon. And he runs into his former co-worker, Andy. Now, Andy is a guy who was working with Ginger on her budding singing career, but still, the wheels aren't turning. It's not clicking for Kenneth. Kenny is so up on CG that he's not really thinking straight. He's not really seeing the full picture, although he has an inkling. So he and Andy are talking about what it's like to no longer work at their now defunct record company. Andy doesn't seem to be doing quote unquote as well as Kenny, but Kenny he's unbothered. I can't stress that enough. Andy says, wow, dude, you're not afraid to be out on your own? Kenny is like, baby, not even a little bit. Your boy is settled. I am happy. I am elated. Andy says, well, I guess you could be if you got someone like Ted Munson backing you. Kenny says, no, what you talking about? Andy said, everyone in the greater Los Angeles area knows that Munson is backing CG. Embarrassingly, this is the first time that Kenny's ever heard this, but this ain't the first time it's crossed his mind, if you know what I'm saying. Ken Munson, huh? Okay, that's cute. So a little bit later in the episode, Kenny and Ginger are babysitting Abby's children over at Gary's new 3 layers of heaven right off of the beach. He asked Gary up front, yo, what's on with Munson? Is Munson CG's producer now? Am I out? Gary looks him dead in his eye and says, no, dude, you tripping. Why are we doing this again? I don't know. I had a little conversation. Word on the street is that I may be out and Munson is in. Gary says, not so. I have not seen anything beyond this point. They don't really touch on it this episode because obviously there are bigger things at play. But it's very, very clear to me that Gary is not keeping up with Abby at all. Abby is running more and more of the show, and I'm not mad at it, but I also kind of, I don't know how this is going to play out. This episode is far too sensitive. I think you can't really go off on somebody while they're laying in their hospital bed. You can't really approach her about that. So we'll have to see how that turns out. Our next bit player is none other than a surprise friendship. New besties Laura and CG. So Laura and CG's unlikely friendship blossomed over their taste in really crappy men who have really high ambitions. Turns out CG is turning 25 on tomorrow. It is her birthday eve, and she and Laura are chittering about what CG's plans are. CG says, well, me and my manager are going to hang out and have a good time. Laura ain't no fool. She too has banged her superior. Although I feel like in the music business, you don't really have superiors per se. Your manager is not your superior. He would be he actually kind of works for you. But Laura doesn't pry because she's got other things on her mind. She already got an attitude about Richard. Richard asked her something about the restaurant early on in the show, and she goes, I don't know. Why don't you ask Abby? My God, are you ever going to let me live this down? She answers honestly, no. I am definitely, most probably not going to let you live this down. And why should she? This is yet another secret. This is yet another scheme behind her back. This is yet another time where this man is talking at her, not to her. So yeah, you gonna feel this wrath for a little bit. I don't care how sensitive your brain is right now. You ain't going to the psychiatrist anyway. I might as well speak freely. Plus, he also knows she ain't got no money to leave because it's all poured into Daniel. So it's in everybody's best interest that this works out. You see how this works? There's this really funny scene to me where CG and Laura are in Laura in Richard's bedroom, chilling on the bed, chatting like girlfriends, talking about domestic bliss. CG is like, oh, I really want a family. This is so cute. She's probably just lonely. Doesn't seem like she has any family, although I do still think she's from the hood. Might be the hood in Ohio. She just moved far away. So they're talking, and we get to see baby Daniel, who must have had a little chit himself about residuals with baby two names. In my mind, he and baby two names at their little play date had a long conversation, and baby two names told Daniel about her stealing ass clown of a dad blocked her face with this sepia colored sea shanty music sheet. So 40 years in the future, she ain't gonna get her residuals, and she needs that to pay her mortgage. Baby Daniel heeds her advice. He takes the story quite seriously, and he refuses to leave being denied his residuals up to chance. So he makes hella noise this whole scene. He is so cute. He is making all the sound he possibly can as a toddler. He's making dang sure that it's going to be hard, if not impossible, to edit this out 40 plus years later. 44-year-old baby Daniel is thanking his lucky stars that he acted a teetotal in this scene because he needs those residuals today. That must be so cool. I would love to go back and not go back in time. I can't go back in time, but I wish I'd been a baby on TV to hear myself Google and gurgle and receive a check for that year after year, month after month. All right, so fiends, pour it up. This is the point of the show. We get to the meat and potatoes. We start off the show with an attempted murder. Abby is out on Gary's brand new beach terrace watching the ocean, listening to the waves, and apparently her white noise is a sound of prepubescent rage. Olivia is going ape-ish. Abby is on her last frayed nerve. Abby is trying to keep it together. She's got a lot on her mind. Meanwhile, Brian is 4 seconds away from being murdered by his big sister Olivia for trampling on the sandcastle she spent the entire morning making. In true little brother fashion, he waits until all of the hard work is completely done, and Olivia is ready to present her masterpiece to her mother. She's shouting up at Abby, Mother, look at my masterpiece. Right about this time, this little boy puts his entire back. He jumps up. His knees are up by his ears, and he tramples the ish out of her sandcastle. Olivia loses it. She flips out. Mom, do you see this ish? You see what this mofo just did to my castle? You see me working on this all morning? She starts going off on Brian. I did not wake up early in the morning. It's been all morning building this motherfucking castle. She is flipping the F out. Abby is somewhere else. She is mentally unavailable. She barely even notices when Gary comes out and he wraps his arm around her. They get to have a quick little mind you, Olivia's crash out is the soundtrack to this scene. Abby admits that she feels a whole type of way about this Diana let me borrow your kidney situation. It isn't that she doesn't love Diana, but she feels like this is a complete and teetotal setup, because what Abby does know, if she don't know nothing else, she knows that there is an alternative to the fresh kidney situation. There is another way for Diana to live and survive off of this. But Karen, trifling Karen thinks she's better than everybody. She thinks she's better than me. She brought it to my face, Gary. She's trying to play in my face. She wants me to look bad. She wants the whole world to see that I'm a selfish mofo just because I don't want my body sliced and diced open. I'm not some damn hibachi grill. I'm a human being, for crying out loud. Her daughter is perfectly fine. But no, now if I don't do it, now I'm some sort of monster? Gary's like, honey, just breathe it in. You don't even, so you're telling me you're not going to do it? She said, I didn't say all that. I don't even know if I'm qualified, Gary. All I'm saying is that I feel a way about her even asking me about it. In Abby's defense, the situation is less than ideal. It's not something that you could shout out a yes to without at least pondering the consequences, right? Even for people who aren't directly in the line of I'm going to say procession, even though that's not what I mean, but so means you know me by now, whatever. Abby is the one and only person who could help Diana at this juncture. Although, let the record reflect, I have not forgotten season 1 or 2 where they had a little nephew stop by. I don't know who his mother or father is, but it was Sid and Abby's nephew. He has never shown up again. Remember, he was trying to get with Ginger's sister. So it seems like there might be a younger, fresher piece of liver meat available for Diana. Either way, that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is the situation is not ideal and everyone is stressing. The entire cul-de-sac is losing sleep over this. Namely, Val. Val stayed up all night baking cinnamon and sugar whole wheat hockey pucks, cosplaying as cookies. Willie Mae enters the chat early that morning talking cash crazy about how selfish Abby is. Ain't no way she gonna cut her body open for nobody else. I don't even know why they asked her. Abby don't care about nobody but herself, which is why it's such a moot point asking her for a kidney. She's too selfish, too self-absorbed. That's literally the only point of this scene. Turns out, Abby, as selfish as she is and as self-absorbed as she is, has to make a decision sooner than later. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, she is the match. Abby is sitting talking with a redheaded lady doctor, and she wants all the tea. So, Doc, give it to me straight. What does life look like for a person like Diana? I can just plug her in like a Tesla every 3 days or something, right? She'll be fine. And the doc's like, yes, you can pretty much plug her in and out of dialysis 3 or 4 times for the rest of her life. She'll be cool. She'll be vulnerable, but she'll be cool. And Abby's like, see, that's exactly what I've been telling people. That's exactly right. But, oh, Doc, I see how you're looking at me. I'm a monster. She's like, the doctor's like, listen, I'm not a monster. I'm just here to give you and the audience the facts about dialysis in 1982. She would come in 3 or 4 times a week, clean out her livers. But her kidneys. Is it liver or kidney? Kidneys, right? Whatever. They're never going to recover. But a healthy person, i.e. you, will do just fine. You use 15% or something like that if you have 2 kidneys. Basically, your life, it may or may not be slightly altered. Granted, as long as you're normal and you don't go doing wild things, you're going to be just fine. But let's say you get into a car crash or you get sick, you're kind of screwed. But y'all are family. You know what I'm saying? Your kidney is amazing for her. Your organ, let's just say organ because, I can't remember. Your organ is going to work perfectly fine for her. It is the best bet. Abby's like, damn. She had plans to go to Acapulco with this new Gary money. She also starts to flip out. She's like, so if I don't help her, I can hear what you're not saying, Doc. You're basically saying at 18 years old, there's no way to live like that. Nobody wants to be plugged in like an iPhone. She doesn't want to charge 3 times a week. She's not going to get to go to college and party and F up and do all this other things. It's going to be a horrible, miserable life because she's going to be plugged in like a freaking Tesla for the foreseeable future. She's only 18 and I'm some sort of monster because I won't slice and dice my body. I am not a Caesar freaking salad. I can't do this, Doc. I'm out. She leaves the room. She's made the decision. Now, in Abby's defense, she does pepper the conversation with like, I got to think about me. I got to think about my kids. I don't think this is selfish. I'm really sorry. This is a big decision. And yes, you love this little girl, but she's right. What say ye? One of her kids needs a kidney later on down the line. She can't very well ask Diana to take it back, and they already know that the boys may or may not be a perfect match, but it's just too much to think about. I love this little girl. I hate being put on the spot. This is a very unfair situation. This isn't a situation that anybody deserves to be asked into. Perhaps she isn't behaving the way that you are quote unquote supposed to, but she's being real and I respect it. These are the thoughts you need to have. Either way, it is incredibly stressful. So she goes back to the 3 layers of heaven to chatter, chit, chit with Gary. As soon as she gets home, she requests that Gary comes into the living room and help her clear her mind. Gary, let's bang one out on this couch, okay? But the truth is, she's struggling so much mentally, she can't really get there physically with Gary. Plus, he didn't really help. He just lies across her, smothering her or whatever. She confides in him. He's her one confidant. She says, she doesn't want her niece to have to live a life that's not really a life. She's done her research without Google. Amen. She had to actually go into a library and look all this crap up. Some of the kids on dialysis struggle. There's a certain percentage of the population of those children who end their lives because they feel like they're just not living it to the fullest. It is a heavy burden. It is a weight around her neck. But Gary reminds her, Diana ain't some kids. But Abby's like, but me and Diana are cut from the same cloth. I'm not surprised at all. We got the same sort of organs. And if it were me, I might do that. Gary's like, shut the hell. No, you wouldn't. Like, you're right. I'm just being dramatic, but damn it, I have the right to be dramatic right now because this is a dramatic situation. This is life or death, okay? I can act up if I want. Yes, you can, Abby. You have a full pass from me this entire episode. Okay, so meanwhile at the hospital, Karen and Diana are talking, and it's clear that Diana does not want Abby to be considered as a donor. She feels like that's a lot to ask. Once again, they cut from the same cloth. She was like, if one of my brothers has a daughter, she's SOL. She need a kidney, baby. Well, I mean, she SOL anyway because I ain't got no fresh ones, but she might need a pinky toe or some cheekbones, which I have, but she ain't getting mine. You know what I'm saying? I love you, but I don't love you like that. Karen, on the other hand, is like, she got 2. She has a spare one. She better give you one. This is good for character building for her. She's very kind of blasé about the fact that Abby has a choice to make. I wasn't feeling Karen this episode because of that. I understand the situation in a sense, and this is what I love about the show because it is going to make you think. It is going to make you admit to those dark parts of yourself, even if you won't say it. Or not even dark. Is it dark to say, I don't want to give up my kidney? Not everybody's a hero. That's it. Before Karen can talk too cash crazy, Abby enters Diana's hospital room and she immediately asks for privacy. Now, Karen tries to be pushy, but Abby is pushier. Step out. I need to talk to my niece. If you ain't got AB blood type, see your way out this room. Karen ain't got no choice but to leave. Once Karen shuffles out of the room with her tail between her legs, well, Abby lets it rip that they are a match. Immediately, Diana says, no, I can't ask you for this. This is too much, Abby. I don't like this at all. And this is not one of those situations where she's saying the thing that is polite to say or she's being gracious. No, she's being honest. Like, girl, this is too much. They can plug me in and out like Christmas lights. I'm fine. It's too much to ask from you. Listen, you have given me more than anyone else has. You have been my friend. You don't treat me like a kid when everyone else does. Translation, I'm a pain in the ass. You a pain in the ass. We pain in the asses together. And we're both a little bit selfish and over the top. And God, we're draining. I would never ask you that because I would never ask it of myself. That's the translation I heard. Maybe you heard something different. But she does say, you know, you've been more than an aunt to me. You have been my friend. You treat me like an adult. And I just refuse to ask you to do this. Plus, you're so pretty. I know you wanted to spend Gary's money in Acapulco, but oh my God, Abby, the scar. Oh my God. Abby is a mother and a wonderful aunt in this scene. And she said, baby girl, I didn't come in here to say anything other than what's mine is yours. We're going to be Twinkies in Acapulco with our little scars. Plus Gary's money can pay for the surgery. Who cares? So later, She's sitting in her hospital room trying to get her mind right so she can get sliced and diced open. When Karen comes in, I'm assuming to say thank you. But Abby ain't having it. Abby has had a long effing day. Immediately, and I'm paraphrasing here, ladies and gentlemen, she's like, don't come in here with that bull. Miss me with that bull. I am doing this for my brother's child, for my niece, and for my conscience. Karen tries to interject, but Abby shuts her down. She's like, you know what? We ain't cool. We ain't calm. We ain't collected. I don't even like you like that. You definitely don't like me. So this is what we're not going to do. Don't come at me with no small talk. Don't come asking me for nothing else for the rest of your life. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Don't say nothing sweet. Don't say, I can't stand you. I need you to know that we're not even going to do this. Mind your business. Get out of my room. If you want to do something for me, save a whale in my name. But don't come in here with that. I feel you, Abby, on the rage, and you are allowed to talk cash crazy to somebody if you're about to give up a kidney. You absolutely are. However, my dear, I do not think you negotiated this well. Let the record reflect. Chip ain't had a job in 3 months, and he is living rent-free. He is driving an automobile from Karen's dealership. If it were me, and I am giving up one of my kidney or lima beads, I'm going to need a fresh 2-seater once a month. No. Matter of fact, every time there's a brand new car, once a year, I need a fresh car. And you better believe I ain't paying for no gas. I'm showing up in my pajamas, in Nike slides, filling up whatever automobile I feel the need to drive with gas. I don't care if Mr. and Mrs. Beer Can have shown up and signed on the dotted line. If I want their cream-colored Oldsmobile, it is now my cream-colored Oldsmobile. Period, for the rest of my life. Also, I'm not cooking Thanksgiving dinner. I'm gonna need you to do the dressing and the turkey because Karen looked like she cooked a fire Thanksgiving. Anyway, that's not what Abby wants. All Abby wants is peace and quiet and no small talk. Get the F out of my face. I'm gonna say the thing you're not supposed to say. Deathbed Diana is kind of a vibe. She is far more pleasant than 2-kidney Diana. And she decides she's going to make amends with Mac. Now, Mac, oh my gosh, it is a shame that Karen's mom and dad aren't in the hospital right now witnessing this because he is making one hell of an impression. He is making sure that the boys are fed. He is checking in on Karen at all the right moments. He's noticing she's hanging out a little bit too much at Diana's bed. I don't want to take you away from Diana. I can sit here. Why don't you go eat with the boys? He is making sure that she is present. He is making sure that she is supported during this difficult time. He is her confidant. She's like, oh my God, it's the silence of waiting is too much for me, Mac. Every time there's news, good, bad, or indifferent, Mac is at her side. She don't even have to lean back too far and she's into his chest. I love it. He is more than made up for banging that redhead from across the hallway. Most of this episode takes place in the hospital. And there's this dark cloud looming over this episode because the thing nobody wants to say is that not so long ago, this same family witnessed someone pass away in the hospital. So Eric comes to visit his pain in the butt sister and he tries to make jokes with the doctor. They try to keep it light. Everyone's trying their very best to be strong, but because of her decline and how rapidly she has declined, it's on the back of everybody's mind. Abby makes mention of it. My brother died in this hospital. You can see it all over Eric's non-mustachioed face. Baby boy Michael, he broke down last episode. He's trying to hold together this one, but everybody is thinking it. Nobody wants to say it. And it's even more tragic because this girl is so young. Everybody is completely worried about her. They're worried about her. They're worried about Karen. They're worried about the Fairgates in general. Everyone except Chip, who seems to be worried about the weird reception he's getting in the waiting room. He tells Diana that everyone's looking at me like I'm not good enough for you. Everyone's judging me. Or everybody's effing worried about the 18-year-old girl on her deathbed, maybe. He really do thinks he's a main character. He really does. He has a good sense, though, this episode, to use the money that Lily Mae gave him to buy Diana something. He actually does. I didn't think he was going to do it. But he buys Diana this beautiful heart necklace, professes his love to her. Just like, oh my God, honey, I love you so much. Mind you, CG is waiting on her birthday dinner that never comes from him. Full certified weirdo this episode. But he is one of Diana's many, many visitors. Abby, she's not receiving the same amount of visitor. She's not showered with them. But the one who matters most is there. Now, y'all already know how I feel about Gary, but he is a very solid partner, at least in this episode. He gets to walk her to the OR room, I guess, to the opening doors. I imagine there's probably yet another hallway that she has to go down, but he holds her hand while she's on the gurney, and the nursing staff pushes her through those doors, and he just kind of leans it up against the wall, trying to be strong. You know, Gary's not a man of many words. He's mostly hugs and grunts this episode, but they work. As soon as they will Abby in, they will Diana in, and Karen is holding her hand. Why am I getting emotional? Oh my gosh. Ah, what can I say? My heart's on my sleeve. Karen is getting emotional. She's holding Diana's hand through the double doors. But the difference is, as soon as Diana goes through those double doors, Mac is right behind Karen. So if she needs to collapse, she needs to faint, it does it. It's just so weird to me that today that was the episode. There was episode 2, season 3 was on. And if I went in the bathroom, came back out, episode 3 was on, and I'm like, oh crap. And to see her again in that same position, I said, this woman is acting her ass off. It just hurt. I was already in my feelings. I didn't think they gonna kill Diana. I really didn't. But still, I know better than to assume anything, because I definitely didn't think that was happening to Sid. So both Diana and Abby go through the double doors, and you get to see Karen being supported by Mac and Gary being supported by the wall. It's a wonderful shot. Excellent choice. I loved everything about it. I can't stress this to y'all enough. The second Karen's hand leaves the gurney, Mac is like, he's right there. Right there. That man is on it today. I'm proud of him. The waiting room is tense, to say the least. Valine shows up looking fabulous, but she's stressed. She's not only stressed about Diana and Karen and the kids. She's torn between wanting to comfort Karen, but she's also unexpectedly concerned with Gary. For better or worse, those feelings don't go away. She's loved that man since she was 14, 15 years old. He's not a man of many words. He's somewhat stoic, especially this episode, but she knows him and she can see how uncomfortable he is. Now, unfortunately, she's looking at him, and her looking at him, he knows that she really sees him, and it makes him uncomfortable, so uncomfortable. He's got to get up and sashay out of the room in his tight shirt. Actually, let me stop. He wore a loose-fitting shirt today. Loose in Gary's term. You know what I'm saying? It's still, by any normal circumstance, it's probably a little snug, but it ain't Gary tight. Anyway. Gary excuses himself because he is weirded the F out by Valine looking into his soul. Also, she's liable to write about it, so it's not a poor choice of him to just walk out. She follows him outside, and she just says, hey, Gary, I see that you're uncomfortable. I'm so sorry. I know how much you care about Abby, and I'm really sorry that you're in this. Valine is a grown woman. And I have to admit, this is one of those times where sometimes you realize it's whatever has happened, as much as it hurt, I'm glad that it happened, because I would have never been me had this not happened. I hate that you had to embarrass me. I hate that you had to disrespect me in the cul-de-sac. I hate that you did it with this woman that I watched her children. I don't get to even see them anymore. All that is really crappy. But if I omit all of your actions, I can see the essence of you, and the essence of you is hurt. And my love for you does not allow me to see you hurt without hurting with you. It's a whole lot. No, I didn't say a whole word. Cheers, everybody. Anyway, it still sucks to love someone and want to comfort them, and it's just not the right time. Luckily, she doesn't have to go too deep into her emotionally mature bag, because Laura pulls up. Actually, Laura doesn't pull up. CG pulls up and drops Laura off. So thank God. Saved by the bell. Val and Laura head into the hospital after Laura quickly greets Gary. Gary hops up. He seemed to be happy to see old CG. Now, Val is still sort of not reeling, but she knows that he's hurt, but she's walking into the hospital with her homegirl, Laura. She looks back and she sees Gary leaning over the passenger seat, chittering with CG. And there's just a brief look. Now, I don't know if I am projecting, because I am just beyond curious as to what happened behind closed doors when CG disrobed in front of Gary and he was all smirking. I don't know. If anything else. There is a touch of attraction. There is a light sense of something. I can't quite tell. My instinct is telling me something happened. I just don't know what. And on the show, I feel like Val, maybe it's one of those moments where you just look and you're like, huh. I remember having a moment like this when I was 15. I can't remember if we were in Mesquite or we were in one of the suburbs of Dallas. I was at this hotel with my school, this band or whatever. And my cousin, the oldest twin, was living in Dallas at the time. And we were in contact. And she's like, Jet, I'm coming to see you. She drove like 45 minutes to the hotel. And I remember being so happy to see her because I hadn't seen her in a couple years. And she's kind of walking towards me and she's just her beautiful, vibrant, happy self. And she's all kind of dancing towards me. So we're laughing, but I was happy, but there was like a darkness there and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And we're hugging and we're talking and she introduces me to her little friend. And when I see him, I was like, oh, it's that kind of moment. I didn't have the words. I didn't have any proof. I didn't have any reason to feel that way other than just what I saw real quick. It just kind of flipped my stomach like, oh, I'm uncomfortable by this. And then it kind of moved on. Okay, let me hang out with my cousin right now. I'm not worried about whoever that is. Perhaps I'm projecting. I hope I'm not. But Val looking back is just kind of like one of those, I see something, but I don't know what I see. By the time that Val and Laura get back in the hospital, Ginger comes around and she's dropping off Olivia. Olivia is in shambles. She is beside herself. She has been worried sick all night about her mama. So to her relief, as soon as she walks in the hospital, she sees Val and she's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Help. No, mama, oh my God, my mama. Val's like, hey, none of that. She instantly hugs her. Oh my God, her baby's back. Her baby's back. I'm so happy they get to have this reunion. I hate the circumstances, but baby girl is in shambles. So it provides a much needed distraction for Val temporarily. Val takes Olivia to go get an ice cream cone and she big ups Abby the whole time. She's comforting Olivia, but I can tell she's also being genuine. Olivia, don't you worry about this. Your mother is strong and she is so brave. Your mama's a hero. And Olivia and I are like, oh, word? A hero? Olivia says, I thought you couldn't stand my mama. Val doesn't even say, I can't. And don't, and can't. But instead she says, no. I ain't got no problem with your mama. Your mama is a hero. She's doing one of the most selfless things a human being can do. She's giving part of her body to someone else to save a life. Your mama is a hero. And Olivia's like, dang, I guess that is kind of heroic. Wow. I'm not used to the side of my mother. This is quite a bit to take in. Don't you worry about that, baby girl. Stop all that crying. I want you to enjoy your ice cream cone. I promise you, your mama's going to be just fine. Val is a full-grown woman. And Olivia's like, oh my gosh. But low-key, I miss you. I miss you so much, Val. And Val's like, baby, I miss you too. I miss you. Don't get me to crying now. I look good. And I still need to stunt in front of Gary. Don't give a damn who's getting sliced open. I need to look good. Okay, let's talk about how creepy Chip is. So everyone's still waiting for the word on the surgery. Did it go well? Did it not go well? And right about this time, Karen is in her mom bag. She's like, oh crap, I forgot to grab Diana some extra clothes and her robe. She's going to want her robe after this. Thinking in the positive. Chip says, well, I can help you with that, Mrs. Fairgate. She's like, you know what? That's cool. He goes, yeah. You don't need to leave here. I'll run by the house and get it. So she hands over her house keys. Chip goes by the house. He does grab Diana's thing, but he also snoops around. I can't really blame him. Like, I don't go through people's drawers per se, but I mean, I remember going through like my great grandma's house. It was fascinating to me. She had all sorts of perfumes and stuff. I didn't read anything, but whatever's laying out and about, I want to see what you're working with. Well, so does Chip, and he's looking over everything. And he finds this book of poems. He reads over it. He notices that Karen has gifted this book of poems to Diana. So when he goes back to the hospital, he starts quoting this like, oh, this is I can't remember who the artist is, so forgive me. Talk about the only poet I know. The artist Dwayne Carter said, Ahem. Excuse my charisma, vodka with a spritzer. Swagger down pout. Call my ish Patricia. Young Money Militia, and I am the commissioner. You don't want to start, Wheezy, because EF is for finisher. So misunderstood, but what's a world without enigma? Two chicks at the same time. Synchronized swimmers. Got the girl twisted, cause she open when you twist her. Never met that girl, but I loved her like I missed her. I don't remember what he quoted. Basically the same thing. And Karen is like, I love Wheezy. Chip is all like, oh my God, you love Wheezy? I did a whole report on Wheezy in high school. You did not. You did not. But he needs brownie points during this time of bereavement and worry. Yeah, let's worry about that. Doesn't matter because right about that time, the good doctor comes waltzing in and announced that, well, actually two doctors come in and they're like, it seems cool, but we need to see if Diana can pee with Abby's impeccable kidney. The whole episode, they talk about how flawless and wonderful Abby's kidneys are. Gary is the only person in that waiting room that says, well, what about Gabby, the owner of said impeccable kidney? And they're like, oh, yeah, she's cool. She's fine. Can I see her? No. She's sleeping right now. She don't want to talk to you. She's sleeping. They do say that she is a champ, though. She is that girl. She is the girl. And she's done her good deed for a lifetime. She could pretty much rain hell all over the rest of you for the rest of your life, and there's nothing you can do about it. This is me projecting, but it does not take a whiz to figure out when she wakes up, when she heals, when she gets those stitches removed. Oh, baby, y'all finna have a problem. Y'all finna have a big problem. You see how bold she was with nary a surgery scar. Oh, baby, it's finna be over. And I do hope she takes a car or two. I really do. And the Thanksgiving turkey and dressing. But that's neither here nor there because the moment she wakes up, Gary is there. He's there to comfort her. He's there to hug her. And she's on that really, really good anesthesia because she's like, oh my God, Gary, I was just dreaming about you and I floating on a cloud. I think she left out the word of money, but that's just my thoughts. So anyways, Abby, her one impeccable kidney, and Gary are doing just fine by episode's end. Diana wakes up in her room and it's a totally different reception where Abby's room is warm and intimate and it's just she and her love. Diana is cheered awake by her whole family, her mother, her brothers, and Mac. The moment she opens her eyes and she's just sitting there like, oh my God, you're good, you're good. The doctor comes in and is like, yo, it took. She could keep the kidney. Everybody explodes. You would think it was like the final 10 seconds of the Super Bowl or something. They're so pumped. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But it's in this moment that Karen realizes she has been a complete jerk to Abby this entire episode. And she sneaks down that hallway, the same hallway that she walked many a times by this point in the episode, into Abby's quiet, dark room where just Abby's there, laying in her bed, fully asleep, resting, trying to live life with just one kidney and a fresh scar. And she plants a kiss on Abby's sleeping forehead. It is so sweet. Not gonna lie, I definitely shed a tear or 3 or 5. It was just really sweet. And you know what? That's exactly what she needed to do. End scene. All right, guys, that's it. That's all for this episode. I enjoyed this one. It was a little bit slower, not necessarily slower. There was so much concentration on the hospital and is this going to take? But once again, Knots Landing delivers. We had so many emotions to sift through, which I love. Kind of my jam. And I know they're setting the stage for something bigger and better. All right, guys, go ahead and join me next time as we jump into another primetime, vintage, impeccable soap opera. In the meantime, in between time, be cool to your kidneys. You never know if your niecey, who might be a nightmare like you, might need them at a later date. Also, if your baby is on television, make sure they make a little bit of noise, they hoot and holler, so that they can get residuals in the year of our Lord 2066. Stay hydrated, stay moisturized, mind your own business, and keep all of your drama on TV.